Hey, everybody, welcome back to this five-part series with Brandi Bernoskie of Alchemy+Aim. It's been a great week, Brandi. I've learned a ton from you and our discussions. I thought today we could talk about how to utilize a website in a more robust way so people aren't using it as just like kind of a sterile business card. I remember I'm 49, and when I was 23, I started an internet company with my brother and a buddy, and that's when Netscape was around, and I remember when JavaScript came, and it was, even doing something scrolling with a JavaScript was cutting edge. And there's been so many things over the last 20 plus years, but today I think a website is more important than ever before, and using it in a robust way I think is critical, and that's what you and your team do. You do spectacular work. I just want to put this out there. Your company, Alchemy+Aim, can be found at alchemyandaim.com for a full spectrum of work. But let's dive into how we can utilize a website as a robust tool, real-time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is just a really, really good topic because a lot of people don't realize what's possible with technology these days. So I always talk to business owners when we're first chatting about like their technology stack. What are they using in so many different places? And, a great example is my friend Eduardo, who we've been working with for some time. We met originally. I worked with him. He's now working with me. And his technology stack was all over the place. They had the website, they have the email list, but then they were using things like Eventbrite in order to collect, registrations for the events, even events that didn't have actually any fees with them.
Yeah.
And when we first were talking about this, I was like, well, why don't we just pull this onto your website? Like, we can do event registrations on your website, and then you don't need yet another thing.
Yeah.
Another sign up, another program, something else maybe you're potentially even paying for. Like, we can make your website actually work in a more robust way for you. So there's a lot of potential with what we can integrate from a business perspective and the technology, perspective to enhance the business on the website, or even, kind of like integrate it with the existing technology that you have so that it is all seamlessly working together.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that's like one of the most powerful things a website can do. Yes, we need it to talk to your ideal customer, but then can we, kind of really smooth out that journey and just make it really elegant and easy for people.
One of the things, as a business coach, I see this happen a lot. A story I can think of from yesterday. I was working with a client on something. The content doesn't matter, but I pointed something out, and they said, and this client is about 65 years old, and he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe I can't believe that I never realized that." I'm giving just the gist of the story.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you don't know until you know. And
Yep.
so it's kind of like this. There's so many technologies out there. There's so many things to think about. You don't know until you know. That to me, that's why you need an expert like you to kind of zoom out and look at, of what you want to accomplish, what the end result is. So can you talk a little bit about, okay, how you work with clients on setting the vision, right, of what they want for their company, and then reverse engineering to utilize the website to actually help accelerate all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it starts with, with them having a vision for what's possible for the company and the company's growth, as well as for how they want to be in the company. That's really important to me, is looking at not only like, okay, like how do we grow this? How do we scale? But also, what do you want your time to look like in the company? Where do you want to be spending your time? How do you want to be communicating with people? So understanding their vision for the future, maybe adding it, like I very much encourage my clients, when I'm talking to them, and really ask them, like, is that really what you want to be doing? Because I'm hearing that this is what lights you up. And yet you have to exchange 40 bazillion emails on a daily basis. Like, maybe we should put something else into place to narrow down those emails that enter into your inbox, so you're spending less time on that and more time on this other thing. So really, like, for me, it's always about having the deep conversation with people. I actually utilize the technology on my website as well. I love to give people kind of a more robust questionnaire so that the basic questions are out of the way, and we can start digging in deeper into these questions of like, what are they seeing for themselves?
Yeah.
Where do they want to grow? And then from there, it's also, we touch a lot upon pain points in the company, like what's not working well, and not just with the website. That's one thing, but like what else is going on in the systems of the company? Like, where are you spending time? And start to see if we can weave in new technology into the website to alleviate some of those issues.
Yeah, I love it. I love everything that you're talking about, and the time it takes, the importance of it. I would say that today, excuse me, more than ever, people are doing research on you before they even pick up the phone.
Yes.
To me, my business is mostly from referrals or people who hear me on podcasts or video or tips or whatever. But they will, for example, hear me on a podcast or see me quoted in Forbes, but then they go to LinkedIn, and then they end up at my website. They read my about me. They look at what I'm doing. They see if it's real time, if it's current, and then they pick up the phone. Mm-hmm. And so, to me, your website is the foundation. It's the headquarters of everything that you do, and you do it for your clients so beautifully and with so much thought, because it takes a lot of thought. And I appreciate it. My last question is. And we've talked about this kind of all week, but the energy and the feel that your website should have. We talked a little bit about how it needs to represent kind of the same consistent feel, but just talk about what the energy needs to feel like when you get to a site.
So I think one of the best ways to figure this out, if you don't have a way to articulate it yet for yourself, is to really think about the transformation that your clients and customers, go through. Because we want to help people start to see what's possible for them. Like I think that's one of the best gifts we can give people, even if they spend a brief amount of time on my website, even if they don't reach out and contact me. I want them to start to have a sense and a feeling of what's possible. So for me, it's always looking at what success looks like for my clients and how that may potentially feel, and to start bringing that feeling into the website, either through use of color or imagery or words and language. I'm a real words language person. Mm-hmm. So how do I start to paint that picture to even kind of give them a glimpse of where they can go? Yeah. Part of that is me too, like there's a certain feeling I want people to have because I am who I am, but it's also because I want to show them what's possible. And I think it's just anchoring into that future possibility for them with the website is just a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, I love it. And I can't remember if we talked about this week, but in marketing world, there's something called narrative transportation, where you build the story, you build the narrative to transport people, so they can walk through an identity transformation and see kind of where they are and where they can go and how you can take them there. And that's what your website, in my opinion, what you're saying, I think we're saying the same thing, needs to get people kind of in that story through content, through updating, through everything that you've talked about all week. Brandi, I can't thank you enough. It's been a great week. For anybody who's listening to part 5, there are 5 parts of this. It can be found on my website, johndwoskin.com, and will also be on all my podcast platforms in the weeks to come. Brandi, my last question to you is this. One thing everybody needs to do to take action today. I'm a business coach. I work with successful people who are stuck. So what is one thing to get them unstuck today?
On it, I really think it's just asking yourself the question first of like, how do you help people transform? And then find one way to communicate that today.
I love
it. Really simple, good start. Just find a way to communicate that.
I love it. Tell people how they can connect with you and who your ideal clients are.
Yeah, my ideal clients are impact-driven entrepreneurs, and you can reach us at alchemy+Aim.com. Go to the contact page, fill out that form. It comes straight to me. I get to see it.
I love it. Brandi, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time all week. I appreciate your insights, your wisdom, your guidance, your tips, your best practices, everything that you shared. It's been awesome. Think community, appreciate your time as always. If Brandi can help you, please reach out. Alchemy+Aim.com. Thanks, Brandi.
Thanks, John.